We get it going. I look,
So,
we're
mhm.
live now. I look at some of your posts and I literally go, oh no, why would anyone do this to themselves?
Like, why? Like,
Why? Why?
like,
So
like,
let
what
me
are you
just start
doing?
with that. I'm gonna
Okay.
try to figure out why do you do this to yourself?
Why do I do this to myself? I
Yeah, these
mean,
posts
man,
things.
to be honest with you, brother, like, I just don't care anymore. When I did care, they didn't, you know?
Ooh.
When I did care, they didn't. And so when somebody asked me who hurt me, I say all of y'all. Because
Ooh.
I really started off just like this dude who came in here to help the community start co-produce functions and events for the people, you know what I mean? Telling them to
Mm-hmm.
vote, you know what I mean? I was being
Right.
nice saying, everybody, I need you guys to go vote and make sure that you're a councilman here in the Tri-County area and stuff like that. And everybody was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But then the vote count didn't change in the community, so and then a lot of other things and stuff, it's just I got frustrated with being Mr. Nice Guy, Mr. Passive Guy, and not really speaking my mind. And I'm like, I'm not living up to my slogan, speak your thoughts or lose your mind. And guess what I did? I lost my mind, brother. And it's time to
Mm.
bring it back. So that's why, man, like I do it because I'm not worried about people liking me or not. I've got a core circle of friends, which I consider family, and everything else just doesn't matter, man. To me, I used to be caught up in being, I wanted everybody to like me. But then within that, everybody effed me, everybody took advantage of me. So I'm like, you know what? It's my turn. And if you get mad at what I would call the truth or common sense or just accountability, a lot of people miss out on, they skip a lot of the things that I say about myself. I have told on myself. I have been so vulnerable on this live, on live, everything that I've done, I've told. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing to hide from the wrongs that I've done. I hold myself accountable for being a F boy back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I hold myself accountable for being a sneaky boy back in the day, an irresponsible boy back in the day. And like people say, yeah, you evolve, but you gotta want to. Like if you're still in that same little funk that you're in, you feel what I'm saying? That you're not evolving, and so therefore, if you do something that sparks my attention, I'm gonna talk about it, just like you have a right to. You know what I mean? So if you evolve, I'll congratulate you. But if you're still in the same spot, no, I'm gonna talk about you. That's just what it is. That's just me.
I like it. Now, what I want to know is what does that have to do with that? I don't know. This one thing that you asked. Someone else had a poll where they
Hmm.
asked ladies like, "Ladies, are you promiscuous because
Hmm.
you're unfulfilled, or
Hmm.
because you're just nasty?" Basically, I'm trying to find a way around that word. But back in the day, you listen to
Yeah.
old Ludacris song, he would say "pro" instead of the other word I'm thinking of,
Oh,
right?
pros, use a
Yeah.
pro.
Right, use a pro. Right. Are you a pro or are you lacking something from your relationship? And then the person posed the same question to the same group of people, 500 plus people. Are men a pro or do they lack? And the results were astounding. We'll talk about that. But this is the first that debate of many, I hope. Well,
Ah,
not
it's so
just
good to
us.
see you. It's so good to see you. Before we get, I just want to say
Likewise.
it's so good to see you. Before we even start this, you know what I'm saying? I want to start this off to show brothers and sisters, like, brother, I want to start this off with saying, brother, I love you. I love the work that you do. You know what I'm saying? I love your analytical, you know what I'm saying? Like the way you think. I like that you leave the door open for conversation, you know what I'm saying, and you're able to agree to disagree or just agree and then try to find a solution. That's one thing you did mention, like,
Yes.
well, can we at least try to find some type of solution in this particular
Right.
situation, you know what I'm saying, before we leave off with our emotions and
Yes.
we never get anything fixed, but
Right. Otherwise, what's the
that's what
point?
otherwise what's the point, you know
Look,
what I'm
man, let's
saying?
let's go ahead and start this show for real. Let's go ahead and get the intro. We'll be right back.
Ooh, that bass.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've heard
Damn.
that, man. Welcome back. This is the Urban Academia Podcast. I'm your host, J-ZILLA. And I have with me from Royce's Rant, one Royce Massengill. Man, how are you, brother?
Man, what's up, man? I'm good, my brother. I'm good. I'm chilling. Feeling good, feeling great. How's everybody else doing? It is confusing weather out here in December, and I'm just trying to. I got a sweater on and shorts, but y'all can't see the shorts right now. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm
Yeah,
good, man.
good. I'm glad to hear, man. I can't
Good
wait
to
for you to
hear.
come on off break for real, knock the rust off for real. But I'm happy to help. Right
Man, for sure.
today we are talking. Okay, before the break though, I want you to
Mhm.
talk a little bit about that post that you had, because this can segue into what our main debate is, which is the impact of technology and
Okay,
that it's killing us. Right?
got you.
This is
Oof.
something you agree with, and I'm gonna just take the opposition
Okay,
and try to have a healthy debate and see where we can get to. But tell me a little bit
let's
about
go.
that one post where it showcased how women view women and their
hmm
promiscuity and men and theirs.
Yeah. So shout out to my homeboy, the pro expert. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. We be debating back and forth, you know what I'm saying, about certain things. And we're not like against each other, but like he'll have me on there. So anyway, he had this poll and he was asking women, you know what I'm saying, the reason why they cheat. And then they then no, not the reason why they cheat, but he said if a woman cheats, what is it because of? Is it because she's a
Mm.
hoe? I mean, not a hoe, but a pro.
Pro.
See, I gotta get that. A pro.
That's
A
good.
pro.
That's
I'm
good.
sorry. Don't do that. Is it because she's a pro? Or she has attached feelings, or the guy wasn't doing something right in the relationship. And for the
Right.
guy, he asked the girls, what's the reason why men cheat? Is it because they're pros, or is it because there's something lacking in a relationship? And a huge percentage of the women, with an exception of
Hmm.
about like, I don't know, maybe 30, a huge percent of women said, because he's a pro. Okay, well, why do you cheat? Because something was lacking in a relationship. I'm like, dang, you didn't even ask us. Like, then you just, so you're justified, but we're not. Like, we're not justified. We're just pros. Like, there's no reason why that the men that do cheat, why they cheat. Like, can we speak for that? But the funny thing is that the narrative is pushed on social media that men just cheat just because there's no emotions tied behind it or whatnot. And I disagree. I disagree with that. I really believe that guys have emotion behind cheating sometimes. It's not just a piece of meat.
Right.
We be
So
lying.
look, here at Urban Academia, we try to get straight to the facts. So out of 527 women polled, 79% said that women cheat because they are lacking something from the man in the relationship. All right. And then 75% of women say that men cheat because they're pros, as we've called them. Right. Now,
Right.
my thing about social media, because
Mhm.
I'm sure you would say, hey, social media plays a huge role in this and how we view each other. And I'm
Mhm.
saying, but it also gave me those numbers.
It
And I
did.
think it's very telling. So is social media, is technology in general killing us? Right.
Mm.
And I'm saying that it's not. I believe that it's more helpful than harmful, because you can say all that, but just
Mhm.
like you've done, my contrarian friend,
Mhm.
just like you've done over and over and over again, you have this thing you put out, you get
Yeah.
people riled up, they get their
Mhm.
opinions, and then
Mhm.
you utilize their opinions to showcase the
Yep.
hypocrisy. I think it's beautiful. It's like watching a symphony of sorts, right?
I like that.
Kudos to
Like that
you.
symphony in your intro beat. That's
Hey,
what
there you
actually
go.
happened.
Shout out to wifey. Yep, she made that. That's original.
Yeah. Shout
A
out.
little classic, little hip hop, little because that's what we are. We're like we around here, we refuse to be put in any one box. Yeah, but that's
True.
interesting you say that about social media. Like, you feel like it's killing us. Why?
Whew. Let's peel this off like an onion. I, f-
Hey, I
I,
like it.
I I feel like social media is killing us because uh, especially this younger generation, um, because we have become so dependent on it for answers,
Hmm.
without research. No, I'm guilty of it too, and that's why I'm saying this. Um, we search for answers on YouTube. We search for answers on 30-second clips. We search for answers on TikTok. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Some random person could just say, "Well, 55% of all men, do this and that." And then in my mind, I'm like, "Hey, did you interview 100 million men? Like, am I in this? Because nobody came to me about this. I
Nobody
don't
asked
know."
me, where are these
Yeah.
polls?
Just
Hmm.
just say, I'd rather, like you said, just say amongst 500 men, this here, this there.
Right.
Like, let's just keep it there, because what it does is people take that narrative and say, "Oh yeah, 60% of all these people do this and do that and do this and do that." The only reason why we have percentages in the general census is because either they've asked us or we've turned it in of some sort. You know what I mean? They sat down with
Right.
certain people and then they generalize it and say, well, if these 12 people say it, then I guess that means that for everybody. And we need to base our answers on stuff like that on an individual experience. And we
Hmm.
just have to do that one at a time. You know what I'm saying? But social media is killing us, because I mean, look at our kids, man. They're so dependent on it. Twitter is wide open. There's corn everywhere. That's the new
Hmm.
word for that, y'all. Corn. There's corn
Corn.
everywhere.
Well, we're both professional podcasters now at this point, so we want to make sure that we are not getting penalized for just
What?
saying certain words, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it. I like
You
it.
know?
Look, to give you an example, I don't know if you follow Andrew Schultz. He's a comedian. He's killing it out
Yeah, I know
there.
you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, he's on Flagrant 2 podcast. And he also has one with Charlemagne the God, which will tell you something about him.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But
For
when
real.
he says,
Facts.
like, when some issues was happening with LeBron James' son, he was like, "Hey man, you think Maxine had anything to do with that?" And Charlamagne was
Mm.
like, "What you mean?" He's like, "Maxine, we can't say the V version of that because we'll get, hit, right?" So
Right.
he's like, "You think
Right.
Maxine had anything?" So this is what we're trying to accomplish. We're
Yeah.
constantly going against the algorithm here. But
Yeah.
yeah, you said that our children, just you need to go
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
further than
Yeah.
look at our children
Just look at
and
our
stand
children.
on
It's
that point.
killing us. The attention span. You know what I'm saying? We give
Mhm.
our kids this social media and this technology before they can talk full sentences half the time. I see 2-year-olds just, man,
Swiping.
what did you scrolling to? What are you looking at? Figuring
Yeah,
out, you know what I'm saying, how to hold your boo-boo or something, like, I don't know. Like,
right.
we're doing
What
that.
is it
And they
like?
don't, I
The
don't
12 best diapers on the market today. Like, what are you doing?
yeah, yeah. It's like, I'm gonna tell mama about this. This is very good for my, come on, man. So it's just like we are programming. It's just not like I used to be. We are programming. Technology has become the parents in a way. They've become the regulators. They tell the children what to do. They tell you what's right and wrong and what's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's a major influence. It can also be a sickness, because you can sit here and just look at the screen like the whole time and do all this. Before you know, them 3 hours done went by. Your fingers sore. You're hungry. You ain't even using the bathroom, ain't getting nothing to eat, and now your health is bad because your eyes is heavy and they red. And then it's kind of like on Boondocks when your boy Huey said, I'm gonna watch BET for a week straight. Look what happened
Yeah.
to that man. You know what I'm saying? So I just think social media, in particular within the technology, is killing us mentally, even to the point to where we can't even speak face to face. It's hard
Whew.
to. So I
Right.
told somebody happy birthday 2 months ago, as if they were right here in front of me. They were in physical form, and they were
Hmm.
like, "No, it don't mean nothing unless you say it on Facebook."
Now that's interesting. So you've gone to the first one of the many issues, right? By my
Yeah.
account, there are like seven or so, 5 to 7 things that social media really impact, right?
Hmm.
And you
Hmm.
just hit on one right there, which
Hmm.
is the social disconnect. How we are
Mm.
now being more disconnected socially, or
Hmm.
IRL, as the kids say, in real life, than
Hmm.
we've ever been before. So far to the point that we may be the first generation of humans that
Hmm.
have more humans die than are humans born. Yeah,
That's a word. That's a
yeah.
word. That is
Something's
a
wrong.
word.
I can admit
Yeah,
that.
something is wrong.
Yeah.
Something is
But
wrong. Like,
also, I can talk to my boys in Australia and my great grandma down there in Texas and my
mm-hmm,
mom in Tennessee.
mm-hmm,
Like I don't know. Like it's hard to land
yeah.
on one side or the other strictly.
Yeah, yeah, it is hard to, man. If whomever is doing this up in the sky somewhere, controlling all this technology, man, whoever's doing this, they know what they're doing, and there's an agenda behind it. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why when they came out with Vine and it was a 6-second thing, what they did was program our mind to we can't if the punchline don't come in 6 seconds, man.
Right.
Man, I ain't got time for this. I'm like, what? And then of course it went up to 30 or whatever like that. But
Yeah.
it's interesting that these platforms, have certain type of algorithms and stuff like that to where you can only put up something for so long or whatnot, or for a certain
Right.
time, and then they try to create a study where they say people's attention span is now at 10 seconds. That's y'all's fault, man, for giving us
Right.
this stuff and making us impatient. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
and we get mean to each other and we get bold. Like we say some things we wouldn't say to anybody's face. And I'm trying to
Oh
keep
yeah.
that integrity. You know what I mean?
What's the
Social
word?
media,
Anonymity.
yes. Social
Right.
media has become, our shield. Our
Mhm.
shield and from saying outlandish thing. Like I can say the most outlandish thing from somebody in Cali, but you don't know where I live, so it gives you big kahunas to talk your ish. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I'm trying to keep my integrity where it's like what I say online, I will say to your face, whether it's good
Mhm.
or bad, because I'm going to speak my truth. And how are you going to handle that? You know what I'm saying? But not saying I'm just going to just disrespect people, but I'm just standing on my 10, man. And don't get twisted. Like I still got a little sawdust on me from social media, like real talk. I'm not taking any, I'm not just talking about everybody but me. I'm just saying I'm in this process of stringing away from that, keeping my authenticity, using social media for my content, for my business, but still keeping that same energy when I see you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's a little bit of troll within the debate. If I feel a little like, oh gosh, somebody's getting emotional, and let me be satirical real quick and calm them down.
Right.
But this is what it is, man. I'm scared for this new generation with all this technology. It's a crazy duality, but I think it outweighs it though. I really
Yeah.
do.
And
I'm scared.
unfortunately, that leads me to try to defend the opposite of that, which is I view social media and all manner of technology just what it is on its surface. It's
Mhm.
a tool,
Mm.
right? If I hand a
Yeah.
kid a hammer, he starts hitting other kids. Well, that kid can't handle a hammer, at least right now.
Hmm.
And I think a huge part of that is exactly what you said, that there are some things that happens in our brains
Hmm.
as adults,
Hmm.
parts of our brain lights up the same way it does if you take cocaine or heroin.
What do they call that? Dopamine, or what do you call that stuff?
Yeah, well, it's the playing with the dopamine. Like heroin is
Yeah.
gonna bring it down, and you're gonna feel. I mean, it's still the same releasing, but
Yeah.
how it presents itself once it's released. Like
Right.
heroin is gonna make you. So I've heard. Just gotta get that straight. It's gonna make you, docile, and you just kind of
Hmm.
spacey and ultra like relaxed or whatever. Cocaine
Right.
is more of an upper. It's gonna make you think, man, I'm about to face the world in 5 minutes.
Right. Right. For real.
So if social media in adults has that same sort of effect, why on earth would we give it to a child in elementary school,
Mm.
in middle school, or even high school at this
Mm.
point? They can't vote, they can't smoke, they can't drink, you can't rent an SUV.
Mhm.
But here's this
That's a
social
fact.
media thing that has, oh, I don't know, the world's knowledge at your fingertips,
Mhm.
whether it's verified or not, harmful or
Yeah.
not, it's just all there.
Mhm. No,
So
it's
I just
true.
think we have to start treating it more like, oh, it's not something to be looked at and say, oh, we need to do away with, or
Mhm.
as you would say, it's killing us. Like,
Yeah,
let's look at the why it's killing us, and is there something we can do to improve that?
that's a fact.
Right.
No, that's a fact. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Shout out to
Paco,
Demario.
this is live, my friend.
Get this to share,
Captain,
bro.
who that podcast out there? One half of the Who That podcast, man. Check
Who
them
that?
out
Who
when they
that?
get
Who
off
that?
my
Who
cat
that? Who that?
hiatus.
Who that? Who that?
Okay,
Yeah.
there's that, but let me just real quick. That
Okay.
who that, man, I slick want to play it. Like I don't want to get in trouble, no
JT
copyright.
Money.
Hey, it's
JT
fire.
Money. Ooh. Hey, wasn't that Trick Daddy's brother?
JT Money. See, you asking me. This is out of my realm of expertise
Demario
here.
knows. I should know.
Yeah. Hey, wait. Ask the question again.
Is JT Money Trick Daddy's brother?
Come on, Captain. Producer extraordinaire, right? Also produces Kinfolk Corner out there. Like, I need you to look that up and get back to us on that answer. But yeah, so social media technology, I feel like a tool. When should we have it? How long? Because I love the trappings of people who interview some of the owners of these social media companies, like the guy for TikTok. And it's like, do you allow your children to be on it? He's like, no, absolutely not. He's like, well, why do you think it's okay for other kids? He's like, it's not. We have a age cut off. If they're having it, it's because they're creating fake accounts somehow and utilizing it, or their parents are signing them up. And it's just like the reporter was like, oh, I got you now. So you mean to tell me your kids aren't allowed to use it, but you want our kids to use it? Like, no. He's flat out said to them, no, it's not for them. Like, we have a teen version of TikTok. Like, how come we're not talking about that? We have an age restriction. How come we're not talking about that? Yeah.
I didn't know.
So,
I didn't know there was a teen TikTok. I thought that was just a hashtag.
teen TikTok, like Black Twitter.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was like an extra app for that, like Black Twitter. Like, oh no, that's just the group, the group, the conglomerate in Twitter that are mostly black and talk. You know what I'm saying? Black culture
It's a
things.
real
You know
thing.
what I
It's a
mean?
place where just kids are allowed to be. If you're an adult, you cannot sign up for it. You can't engage in it. It's just for like 13 under. And then once you turn 13, you still have to get certain restriction permissions. But that's not what we're talking about. We're saying, oh, TikTok is ruining my kid's life. Who gave your kid that phone again? Was it the CEO of TikTok?
Right.
Yeah. So this is my gripe.
Yeah.
I think technology is great. I think it's made us better, more connected, and better. Like if you talk about the health industry, right? The accuracy and the speed of diagnosis has gone up tremendously. Tremendously. Hello, Miss Monique King. Oh, that's one of your parishioners there.
What's
Look,
up,
we
King?
come in peace.
What's up, King?
He says the parents. Yeah, the parents. So how much of this is on the parents? I guess it could be the next question.
How much of it is on the parents?
Yeah.
A lot. A lot. A lot is on the parents. This is your child. This is your child. Why would you not want to keep your eye on your child and what they're doing? You know how mama used to do back in the day. I ain't no closed doors up in here. No, there ain't no closed doors. I want to know what you're doing up in there.
Hey.
Yeah, we don't do no closed doors up in there. I need to see what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, okay. See what them kids doing when them doors closed. But I did a TED talk on that because I was a victim of that. And so it's definitely the parents, man. But see, here's the problem though. The parents want to be like, well, you know, it's this, they want to blame it on the music, right? Now, that's a tricky thing because although music is influential, you know, as a parent, you can do the best you can to regulate what they see and what they hear, at least when you're in the four walls. Because that's what I try to tell people all the time. It starts at home first. If you get that home training, when you go outside, all that other stuff is not going to affect you. You're not going to be as green, you know what I'm saying, or as or too vulnerable or too naive to be like, oh, well, what's that? Oh, you already know what it is because mom and dad already told me what that is and gave me knowledge on that. So now that I have the knowledge of it, I know how to navigate through really the inevitable because technology is here to stay. But we do need to regulate how our children use social media. You need to put those little lock pads on it. They need to ask permission to get online and stuff like that. Just to be real, like they need to. Is your homework done? You done your studies? You done this? You done that? You know what I mean? You can't use your phone for this. Like kids be having phones at 4 years old. Talking about hello, what you doing? Wondering why you ain't in bed, young man. It's 11 p.m. Let me talk to my brother. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, look,
You
man,
feel me?
I want to get to this comment from Miss King. She
What's
says
going?
80%, and she's talking about parents there, I'm presuming or assuming. 80% can't monitor their kids all the time.
That's because them parents are on social media too. My
Well,
love.
see, this is what I'm talking about.
The
This is what I'm talking about.
parents is on social media too, and they're giving their kid the social media too, so they don't have to worry about all that because they're just like this too. I'm seeing them. I can't believe that itch said that. That itch told me this and all that. She told me this and told me that. Meanwhile, yeah, be quiet. Be quiet.
Right.
Anyway, itch, let me tell you something. Nah, you
Two
know.
terms I want to introduce to you.
Okay.
I stayed with a guy back in Colombia back in the day, and his father was like, he came in, he was like, "Hey, where's the little man?" He's like, "Oh, he's in his room." He's like, "Oh, on that electronic babysitter, huh?" You talk about parents being so ruthless on that electronic babysitter. And the second term I want to introduce is the electronic pacifier. Here, now
Mm,
stop yelling. Don't ask me questions. Don't bother me. I'm over here swiping too. I'm trying to figure out life too. Or I'm working 12-hour shifts. You know what I mean? I got
mhm.
time for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's true. I mean, there are some things, and like that says that our kids can find ways around parents' rules, regulations. Yeah, we've all done that. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, do as much as you can. There are parents out there just giving it to them. Here you go. Just here you go.
Hmm.
Here you go. You know, you can only do the best that you can. You know what I'm saying, as a parent. But are we doing that? I raised that question. Are we raising our kids or training our kids? You know what I'm saying? But we have to. And I don't have any kids, but I've been plenty of stepdaddy and father figures before, you know. But but one thing I did admire about the relationships that I was in is that they regulated that stuff for their kids. And I'm gonna tell you now, when I see these kids 5 years later, man, they are just so smart. They're so well mannered. They see what's going on out there in the world, but they're not letting that affect them or saying, "Oh, I got to do this to be cool." You know what I'm saying? It's almost to the point now they're able to regulate themselves. Yeah, that's too much. Let me get back to drawing because I'm an artist. You know what I'm saying? And then I
Right.
can show it on social media. You know what I mean? Like I don't totally disagree with you when you say technology uh beneficial, a great thing. I think it is a great thing when it comes to convenience. Um, uh, it's very convenient for communication. You may not be able to, see somebody as much as you want to. We got FaceTime.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool. I enjoy it. That's kind of like FaceTime. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
I can't see you right now, but I can see you here and I can hear your voice and I can see your face and all that stuff like that. Emails, Cash App or that Venmo. You can send me. Oh, you ain't got no cash? Send me that Cash App. You know what I mean? Like that's very convenient. I find that convenient. You can get your money right
Right.
now.
Right.
Yeah. You
But
know?
that's one of the things. I want to go back to Miss King's comment.
Yeah.
Like kids finding ways around it. I literally
Yeah.
had a situation. So we're a blended family. So this
Yeah.
is around middle school.
Okay.
Now my kids, of course, have been asking me to get a cell phone, right? And I
Mhm.
told them like, hey, I need you to understand who you're talking to. I got a
Right.
cell phone when I graduated from high school and bought my own and paid my own
Mm,
cell phone bill.
okay.
So maybe we'll do some sort of halfway. We'll talk this out. Eighth grade.
Mhm.
You know, ninth grade, somewhere around there, and we'll,
Yeah.
we'll hash it out and do a check. But here's the thing: she was in sixth grade at the time, and her father gifted her a gift. I think on her birthday with a
Yeah.
cell phone. Right? We're not gonna get too much into that because it's still a
Okay.
very, very sore spot in
Okay.
my heart of hearts.
Okay.
Okay, on this cell phone, every now and then I was like, okay, fine, only at the house and only, with supervision and only like all these rules, right? You can
Mhm.
fine. I'm not gonna take your father's gift from you,
Mm.
your birthday gift, but it's
Yeah.
gonna come with some rules and regulations in this house.
Right.
And so every now and then I would just go, hey, phone check, hand it over. Like, no, don't close anything.
Hmm.
Do not try to like lock the phone. Like the rule is if I ask you for your phone, you immediately relinquish it. And I just
Mm.
take a quick look around. Let's look through some text messages. That's right.
Hmm.
You ain't got no privacy here, right? You got
Right.
to earn your way for privacy, right? You're in sixth grade. What you need privacy for? And I
Right.
noticed there was an app on the phone, right?
Hmm.
And I didn't know what it was, so I didn't ask her because you know how kids are. I
Yeah.
literally just
Yeah.
went and I looked it up with technology what this
Hmm.
app was.
Yeah.
Well, it was an app hider, little cutesy little cartoon cat,
Yeah.
right?
Oh.
You click it, you put your password in, and then you can get your illegally obtained Instagram, Snapchat, and all this other
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
right? And
Hmm.
so the next time after that, I was like, "Hey, phone check. Let me see real quick. Hey, what's this? Oh, you know what? I don't even, stuttering, right? Why are you stuttering, right?" I was
Right.
like, "All right."
Right.
I clicked it. Hey, I can't get in here. Put your code in. Man, look, I'm sorry. So I have Instagram and I have like she started confessing, right? She's a good girl. It's not like she was doing anything crazy, but the fact
Yeah.
that there's something out there
Hmm.
that actually helps people hide applications from anyone who gets a hold of their phone, like that says a lot about society,
You pulled
right?
that, yeah, because whoever created that know what's up.
Right.
They know what they doing before was wrong. They know how to mess. Oh, we're just gonna
And a
here.
cute
We
little
know it's
cartoon
messing you up.
cat. Who exactly is that? Who
Yeah,
exactly is that marketed to? You know what I mean?
kids.
These are the things
Mm-hmm.
that parents are up against. So Paco,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, the captain, Mr. Liggins says, look, you gotta say Demario Liggins because that's where you sign the checks to, right?
Mm.
We know him as the captain in this Paco, but Mr. Liggins says wealth is influential to the poor. That's why the music in our culture always comes with a gigantic band of money. That's the real influencer. So
Mm.
I want you to
Mm.
get back in the comments, Captain. Are you saying money is the real influencer, or is it the music itself, or some combination of both of them? But yeah,
Mm.
your thoughts on that, Mr. Massengill?
Yeah, yeah. No, I like that. Can you put that up again so I can just like
Yeah, yeah,
see
yeah,
what he just said?
yeah, man.
Um, okay. He said wealth is influential to the poor. Okay, that's why the music in our culture always comes with that gigantic. Okay, man. That's the real influencer. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Money. It's if I'm reading that correctly, in a smaller reference, it's like you get an artist out there, you know what I'm saying, and he's living in poor conditions. He might be a talented young dude, you know what I mean, and you may just give him, we'll give you an advance of $50,000, and you're like, man, I ain't never seen that much money before. You know what I'm saying? Well, here's
Right.
what you have to do. With this $50,000, like you're gonna have to continue with this BS. Where do I sign? I ain't never seen $50,000 in my
Right.
life. I'll do anything to send our hood and neighborhood into flames as long as I
Right.
get this 50,000. Yeah, money is definitely the motivator to good and evil.
Yeah. That's
As they
something.
say.
And
Yeah,
that's something that young Dolph talked about before his passing.
yeah.
Ownership of your stuff. Like, it's best to own 100% of something that's making $0 than
Mhm.
10% of something that's making a billion. Right?
Yeah, that's a
Because the
fact.
idea, the idea that he talked a lot. I mean, a lot. People like
Mm.
him and who's the guy? The other guy. Help me out here. Anyway,
Uh, yeah, but to add to why technology and social media, I feel like is killing us. Um, we've lost all connection to just like pure humanity and consideration, and like you said, like the privacy. We are in everybody's business. We don't mean to. We don't mean
uh,
to. I'll be addicted too. I'll be like, oh, hold on, man. Let me see what Charleston White said today. You know what I'm saying? Let me
hey,
see what's going.
Uncle Chuck.
And then when you get on there, he'll be like, y'all over here wasting y'all time looking to me. You got children back there crying, and you over here too busy commenting me. That's who
Right.
I'm talking to. And that, it's just we just lost the sense of just humanity of whom we are. Like it's so much. Remember I told you when I said happy birthday to this chick. She said, "Well, it don't count unless you say it on Facebook." But it should really mean something to you that I'm looking you in your eye and telling you happy birthday, yo.
Yeah.
But you need
Who's
that
this for?
validation online. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And she came with an attitude too. I'm like, dang, did social media affect your emotions too? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, what? And then also, it can mess with your logic because
Yeah.
some people on social media, especially on IG, they will do these skits. They'll make it feel like it's so real. And I'll look at the
Yeah.
comments and they'll be like, how dare he do something like that? And and in my mind, I'm like, yo, you come out the matrix, yo. It's just a skit. It's a skit.
Hey.
What up, brother? That's my brother. What's up, big bro?
Yes, sir.
In the building.
We love to
Yeah,
be entertained and showcased.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. I like that because that if that's the case, then that means the uh the currency of the day is attention. Just like the young lady
Oh,
is like, yeah, you're looking me in my eyes and telling me happy birthday, but
mm,
that's not how we exchange things anymore. It
mm.
don't count unless, right? Back in the day, it used to be these giant pieces of paper where a bank
Mhm.
would write how much money and who's it going to, and then you would give it to them, then they would go to
Yeah.
another bank, and you know what I mean? And then it
Mhm.
started becoming cash, and then it
Mhm.
came to this, using a card, and now we can use our phones to just tap. Pretty soon we're gonna be able to blink twice to make purchases, right? So when that happens, what they're saying, I go into places right now today, Royce.
Mhm.
They say, "Hey, sorry, we don't accept cash here." Like, what do you mean you don't accept cash? Sorry, we don't accept cash here,
It's a fact.
right? And so fine, but to understand like what's happening socially, is there's a social currency as well, and what people are saying
Mm.
is the social currency of the day is attention,
Mm.
right?
It is.
Yeah,
Wow. I'm glad you said that because somebody can be dead broke. This
yeah,
this might be a positive if you look at it like this. Somebody can be dead broke, life ain't going right. You know what I'm saying? You ain't doing nothing with your life. You just feeling down, and somebody likes your picture.
woo, they
Mm,
love
mm,
me,
mm.
they
It's
really love me.
they really love me. You know, it'll be like you'll have a gazillion likes and comments. Ooh, yeah, baby girl.
Mhm.
Baby boy. Pause. You look good. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, I like that. And then all of a sudden, you forget that you broke. You forget that your light's about to be turned off
Temporarily.
temporarily.
Mhm.
You're gonna get it back, but at the moment, social media takes you away from maybe some of the problems that we hide as human beings. And I'm not judging that, but I try my best not to fake my lifestyle and make other
Right.
people think that everything is. So if somebody asks me how's everything, if it ain't all right, it ain't all right. That's just what
Mhm.
it is. And I'm just not the type to do a lot of posting as far as pictures and stuff like that, trying to be dressed to the T and look at me. You know what I'm saying? I'm good because deep down in your mind, you know that you got some things to handle besides who likes you, who comments on your stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I can see the help in it psychologically if you're going through something like that. But then what does that do to your get up, to your motivation? You know what I'm saying? To be like,
Right.
well, what if somebody likes the way that you look? You looking good, stuff like that. Now you know that you're going through some things, but then you get 100,000 likes or something like that. You know, why can't that motivate you to be like, I need to get on my grind? You know what I'm saying? They like this outfit. And I don't have the money to do it right now, but you know what? I'm gonna hustle myself up. You know what I mean? Get another second job or find some other streams of income so I can continue to get this attention. Do that at least. Don't just stay in the dumps.
Right.
You're killing
Right.
yourself.
Right. And so
Validation, the new currency. Yeah.
validation is the new currency. Now I'll push back on that a little bit, big bro, Massengill, because validation has always been sort of a focal point, right? I was just telling my daughter, she's home from college,
Mhm.
and we were talking about, oh man, what specifically were we talking about? Oh, the show I'm watching. I'm watching the show on HBO Max. It's called The Gilded Age,
Mhm.
right? So we're talking 17th century
I
America.
read that book. Yeah.
Oh man, so the fight that they have, like, yeah, sure, Mr. Vanderbilt, sure, Gold and Rockefeller, sure, y'all got all this money, but you don't have a name. And she was like, "What does that even mean?" I said, well, how the American noble class was set up was if you can trace your ancestry back to people who got off of the Mayflower and the other corresponding ships, then
Mm.
you had that was the noble class.
Mm.
Now, financially, those are just people who got here first and started working the land and have been working it for so long that they
Yeah.
accumulated a massive wealth, right?
Mm.
They made themselves. But I told her, I said, but before that, now the ones who were being shipped over to America from Britain
Mhm.
were kind of like, ugh, they don't have the old family name. They're kind of the lesser class, right?
Right.
Before that, there were some people in caves who came down from their cave mountainous areas and said, huh, what are these Moors up to? What do you mean? What's education? What's
Mhm.
math? What's engineering? What's art?
Mm.
What is all this stuff? And then they utilize
Oh.
that to start to, I don't know, cleanse them, right?
Mm.
And then just said that now I'm a king and now I'm noble, my blood, because God says so. Like, so
Mm.
you mean all this is made up? She asked me. I was like, yes,
Yes.
yes, it is.
What
Right?
if
So
we
validation
had?
is, yeah.
What if after that? What if we had a social media card, like a debit card, and
Mm.
based on how many likes you have is what you can buy? You know, it's like
Mhm.
everybody will be like, for the whole week. Oh man, I gotta make 500 like. I gotta get 500 likes this week if I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying, buy dinner or something. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So you over here doing the most, trying to
The
get
most.
500 likes. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then what also though, let me tell you what the AdSense and all that and all these other platforms have done in a slick
Right.
way. They do kind of reward you for how many views you get, how many likes you get, with a little bit of change, just a
What
little
is the
bit.
reward though?
Just like, okay, for instance, I'll give you a prime example.
Uh-huh.
I had a good little stream on my Instagram or whatever where I would just, man, I did 125 videos in a month, just like little, just loading up stuff, right? Next thing you know, I get a ding and it's like, oh, you've had this many views, you know what I'm saying? Done. Here, sign up to get money for this or whatever, and connected to that. I get a total. I think that total, when I did all those 125 videos at that time, I accumulated, listen here,
Oh.
21 million views and
No,
impressions.
hang on. You gotta say that again. One more time.
21 million views and impressions.
That's
They
crazy.
gave me $50. And I didn't
Me?
even know I could get money at that time with that. I was like, hold on. So now I can really see. I said, well, dang, if I want more money, not only do I got to do more videos, I need to do something a little more edgy to get these views up a little higher, because this ain't enough. $50. See what that does to the brain? Is killing us now. Now we got to do things that are out of our morality just to
Mm.
please somebody else and get a buck or two. That's killing
Yeah.
us. You know,
Yeah. I
how do
think
we?
most.
But let me ask you a question. How do we balance that? How do we balance what would be your idea? You have children. Do you have children?
4
Like,
kids, man.
kid, how would you? Whoa, okay. What the frap? All
What the
right.
crap indeed, man. Hold on,
Whoa, that's
wait.
what I'm talking about. Whoa, but what can we do to balance that? Because we're losing. I'm gonna say we're losing our sense of who we are through social media. You know what I mean? Like, or are we just doomed?
Okay, let me look straight into the camera. Chulo
There
Rich,
you go.
this is your
Okay.
fault what's about to happen. Because Zilla does this long roundabout answer to get to something really small. But
Mhm.
I do find it to be connected. Okay. You say,
Mhm.
what do I do to find that balance? Like when you look at Roman history,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Literally, they they just made up a bunch of stuff, right? The
Yeah.
twins, the twin boys said, "We suckled at the she wolf, right?
Mhm.
We're descendants from the great war of
Mhm.
Troy." Like, but they're not saying that their side were the ones who lost and they had to run in shame.
Mhm.
They're the descendants of
Mhm.
that. So you're descendants of
Mhm.
losers, right? They didn't say that the she wolf they suckled at was a prostitute that had the last name Wolf. They didn't
Yes.
give you the details, but
Mm-mm.
suckled at the breast of the she wolf. You know
Mm.
what I mean? They didn't
Mm.
tell you that what they did was they invited surrounding regions
Mhm.
them in to celebrate their gods, closed the gates behind them,
Yeah.
kicked out all the men, kept, raped, and they married and impregnated the women. So when they came back with
Mm.
their armies, they said, "Hey, we're family now. What are you doing? Why? Why?" They didn't say that that was their origins,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The ideal is understanding a game, learning the rules, the regulations, and what can be exploited, and
Mhm.
then flip it to your advantage, and hopefully do so in a moral way that you change the game or system for the
Right.
better from the inside out. So
Right.
how does that all make sense? I tell my kids, I'm not gonna pretend like social media is not gonna be a part of your life, but I am gonna constantly question. Yeah, hey, Dad, they said that Palestine did this and Israel did that. Like, okay, well, how do they know that? Well,
Mm.
okay, well, let's look that up. Okay,
Mhm.
so you found that this was wrong and this was right, and this is accurate, and it's
Mhm.
probably a little bit more gray than just black or white, right? But
Yeah.
underneath it all is human suffering, and we need to do better at that. You can agree on that. You know what I mean? We teach them how to utilize this tool. I can
Yes.
just give my hammer to my son, or I can teach him safety, right? Make sure you have
Mhm.
glasses just in case it reverbs, right?
Yes.
Make sure you hit the head of the nail. That way
Yes.
you can decrease the likelihood you can hit your thumb and cause injury.
Yeah.
We have to start understanding the stuff that our children are using, and then
Mhm.
how to utilize this both in and outside of this the internet, right?
Mhm.
In short, we gotta make it like Wakanda. Most beautiful thing, they were the most technological region on the planet, and they were still around there in sandals, dealing with trees and farming and all that stuff. This
And they have
connection of utilizing
morals.
together, and they had
Right.
morals. Yeah,
Mhm. I
yeah,
mean, they really had morals. They stood on what they believed in, and
yeah.
they fought for their country.
Right.
Interesting on what? Because see now you're balancing the beam, because now you got me thinking. Um, my stab at saying it's killing us was the lack thereof of what you were speaking. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
okay, it's gonna be here. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be here. There's no way around it. It's cool.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like you said about with the hammer, you had me thinking for a minute. I was like, yeah, if you do give a child a hammer, that child is gonna hit anything. It is
Windows,
gonna hit
walls,
anything.
each other.
Yeah, just don't know the
Yeah.
value of whatever is hitting, but it's like, no. You got a nail, and you can do this to put this together,
Yeah.
and you can build you a house. You can build you a
Yeah.
house with this hammer instead of putting
Your own
walls
house.
and putting holes in it. Come
Instead
on
of
now,
destroying my
preach.
house, you can learn to build your own. Yeah. So look,
Hey,
that, but
preach.
how? But that can be expanded into a myriad of different genres, right?
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be just applied to social media,
Right.
right? Hey, my youngest daughter, my 14-year-old, has this issue where this beef between her and her mother is
Okay.
mama go in to make a meal that she's already prepared and bought the ingredients and stuff for, and she's
Yeah.
missing key ingredients, and now she can't make the meal. She's upset. Why did you just go off the handle and make some random thing? Right? Well, they
Mm.
have that natural. She has that natural want to cook, so she goes
Yes.
in there without any permission or anything and just starts doing stuff, and it wastes
Yeah.
a lot, right? And it gets her in a lot of
Oh.
trouble.
Mm.
So I say, hey, baby girl, maybe talk to mom about the things you want to cook, and
Mhm.
then you two do it together until you're able to do it on your own. We have
Mm.
a dry erase board that's magnetized to our refrigerator. Some
Yeah.
things you want, whether it's snacks or ingredients for things, like utilize the system we set up for you, so you
Yeah.
stay out of trouble and you get what you want, which is to cook something, and your
Yeah.
mom isn't mad, which is good. Like all these things that can be positive if you do
Mm.
things in the appropriate manner,
That's
right?
true.
I
Yep.
think that's what we are missing. We have to start doing that with our children. Like, what is it that you want to do? How can we
Mm.
make this work in society so you're not
Mhm.
getting in trouble, right? Well, I want
Mhm.
money. Okay, well, you can steal it, but everybody's carrying these days.
Right.
Then what, you get thrown in jail. Like,
Yeah.
that's not good, right? What if you start your own business, son? Right? What if you work with someone who has started a successful business,
Mhm.
and then until you are able to start your own, you can still get
That's a
money
fact.
then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So finding those different ways of how to live a more symbiotic lifestyle. where I'm not just taking from Royce and
Mhm.
he's plotting to take from me. Like we're working together so both of us can be elevated. And
You
then
mentioned
people are
something else.
seeing that. Yeah.
You mentioned something else, even with the when I was asking you about what can you do to balance certain situations and stuff like that. You had mentioned like fact checking. Like, okay,
Mm,
you said something. Okay, this is going on here in Gaza and da 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 da. Okay, well, who
right.
said that? Okay, such and such. All right, I am a mass communication, radio and television, um, journalism major. And one
Mm,
thing I did learn in my experience, yes, one thing I learned in my experience in television, and in journalism, and I've learned so much, and I strayed away from it for a while. But those journalists, like the real journalists that I've met, they don't believe nothing you say until they go and check this source, check that source. Okay,
yeah.
let's just see, let's read to see what's going on. You know what I mean? Or some of them just
Double
might be
blinds,
there. Yeah,
right?
some of them will just go. Well, you know what? We just about to go down here, Roach. You got the camera? Where we going? Yeah, yeah. No, I just gotta see. I need to gotta see. You know, hey, okay, whatever. I used to be a freelance cameraman too in Arkansas,
Mm,
but I was watching how thorough these journalists were, asking questions that may even annoy you, you know, but they got their answer. I
uh,
think that was the probe though, to get on your nerves, be like, all right, look, man, look, okay, look,
all right, I think
that didn't
everything,
happen
Copper.
that way. Just forget it. Yeah, you know, I did
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I did not have sex with that woman. I did not have sexual relations
Sexual
with that
relations.
woman. With that woman. Oh, okay. Let's analyze sexual relations with that woman. Who is that
Right.
woman? Could be anybody. He didn't say a name. You know,
Yeah.
it's just little stuff like that. I got to see how they did. So what I'm relearning to do is, yes, I'm highly entertained by social media clips and stuff like that. If I look at okay, Kevin Samuels sings the buzz people, but if I look at Kevin Samuels and they see a clip and then they run with it, I look at it and I look at that clip, I'll be like, oh man, all right, let me go look at this 3-hour interview if I got
Yeah.
time. Let me go,
Yeah.
but if I don't have time, I'm not gonna be like take what I saw in 30 seconds and then run with
Right.
it. But I'll look at that interview and I'll try to get to that spot somewhere where he said it. Usually they got them things. Shout out to the comments that be putting time stamps. And I'll look at that and then I'll reverse back about 5 minutes and see how it bleeds into the conversation. I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, that's
Oh,
what he
yeah.
said. Because they didn't show the part where this person was running their mouth. You know what I mean? About this and that or whatever. But
Hmm.
I'm learning to just be more analytical, trying to research a little better, you
Hmm.
know, even before I post things online,
Right.
because no, all of what I post online is two things, and this will be good. Either I researched it or I experienced it, but my trigger words for content is I'll generalize it just so I can bring people in and let me see what's going on in your head, you
Yes.
know. And that's what I do, you know. I done told them myself, but at least y'all know. But they still fall for it though. That's interesting.
Oh man, but that's fine. Like I want people to understand. I want people to peek behind the curtain and see. Oh, it's not this great Wizard of Oz. It's actually a dude at a microphone. You know what I mean? I
Right.
want people to
Moving
know
everything.
how these things works because you can apply that to politics. You can
Hmm.
apply that to the workforce. All of it. Like anytime. One of the things that drive me nuts
Hmm.
is how anybody hears like a LeBron James or somebody say anything like, ah, quit complaining, you got millions of dollars. Do you understand
Right.
that LeBron James is vastly underpaid?
I feel you. Very.
You know what I
Because
mean?
if they can give that much to him, how much are they making? And he's doing the
Thank you.
work.
Thank you. Chris Rock said it best back in the day. He was like, man, I ain't talking about rich, I'm talking about wealthy. He says, here's the difference. Rich, Shaq is rich. That white man that signs Shaq's check, that's wealthy. because he's doing that. He's paying the coaches and the assistants and 12 other players. Like he's paying a lot of people.
And still
How is
got
he
money
able
left
to
over.
do it? Come on, man.
Actually, still got more money left over after paying all of them with the total sum.
Right. He doesn't have money He doesn't have money make over. He is making more money. The same thing with college sports, right? Complain like people. Here's what I love about technology. Technology combines all these people creating this hive mind. It can be bad a lot of times. That kind of is what gets aggregated. But my favorite things to see in technology, my favorite thing to see in technology work is this NIL thing, name, image, and likeness deals from college sports. People were saying, hey, so the janitor gets paid, the coaches get paid, the assistants, the training assistants, the student assistants, everybody gets paid except for the players. Why is that? Well, because they have the great privilege of education and being at this great university. Yeah, but all of y'all are at this great university. How come y'all aren't just saying, yeah, we're not going to get paid. We're at the great Georgia or great Alabama. Roll Tide, right? That's enough for me. How come you're getting compensated from these TV deals and this merchandise? And even worse than that, if I sign an autograph for my barber and he gives me a free haircut, I'm risking not being able to play the game. I can get suspended for that. So wait, why aren't I getting paid? Y'all made $12 billion and I got paid $0 from that? Just the privilege of wearing the uniform?
You said NIL stands for what?
Name, image, and likeness.
Okay, can I stop you right there?
Yeah.
But I was just trying to, when I hear name, image, and likeness,
yes,
somebody gotta like you, right? But here's my question: does every athlete get an NIL, or is it just the person with a name, image, and likeness?
Every athlete is now allowed by the NCAA to pursue that opportunity. We don't control the market. I can't help it if no one knows you or likes you and wants to pay you money to do their thing. But that is a layer underneath another layer because that's one way of doing it. Like we don't have any control of that. We're going to allow you now. If you want to sign your name for your barber and get a free haircut, we're not going to penalize you that. But here's the dirty secret. We're still not going to pay you your share of what we're making.
That's a fact.
We're going to allow you to use your face and your name to make your own money. Like, that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. And what are people mostly talking about? Oh, these kids are spoiled. All of this is about the clicks and the money now. Like, you understand this whole thing is around clicks and money, but only a certain group is getting paid, while the people who are breaking their bodies are getting paid nothing.
That's almost disrespectful for them to even name it. NIL, name, image, and likeness. Like somebody gotta like you. If you ain't, I don't even care.
Likeness just means like some people were getting in trouble for people putting their face, right? That's their likeness, right? Putting their face on a t-shirt, selling them, and slipping them $20. That was a violation.
I thought it was because like if somebody was ugly, you ugly, you don't get this check.
No, like back in the day, like Reggie Bush got in trouble for this. They took his Heisman Trophy away.
I remember that.
What I mean? And what exactly was his great crime? Like people wanted to give him money because they really, really liked him.
Yeah,
that was his great crime.
Yeah,
buddy, take $100. Nah, don't pay for that burger. We got you. And now the kids are allowed to do that, but they're still not paying them, right? Because being a football, basketball, baseball, soccer player, what you're doing is you're advertising the university, and you're creating a new class of alumni, most notably alumni donors. Right now, Coca-Cola spends a third of its budget on this type of stuff, but you're giving me nothing. Every time I run a touchdown, people go, "Woo! Alabama won! I love Alabama. Let me buy an Alabama jersey now. Let me go get an Alabama Bug or a Bulldog or something from Georgia," and that goes to an entity, like technically not
to that
even
sports
the
commission.
Right.
It's crazy because it got me thinking.
Here's what I'm saying. Technology is allowing for people to all get together and say, "Hey, is this fair?" And people going, "You know what? It's not fair." And you do it so much that like, we're not coming to a game until you fix it. They're like, ho, now you can make money for yourself. We'll allow
That's
that.
the benefit. See, that's the part now. That's the part where I said, okay, well, now you got me leaning to more of a balance. If we as human beings can wake up out of the matrix and realize that we can use this social media tool to go against the machine, it's like Skynet and Terminator
Yeah,
or Social Dilemma or something like people or the movie called Don't Look Up. All you had to do was look up and see there was a comet coming.
you
You
could
know what
have
I'm saying?
verified that truth for yourself, right?
You can see it. And then if we all come together as one, because like I can meet somebody in Cali and be in Tennessee, or somebody in Virginia and be in Tennessee, and we can all come together in a group chat, or Zoom and be like, okay, what we're gonna do? All right, we're all gonna come together as one, and we're gonna send out this message to the president, or send out this message to McDonald's, or send out the message to all these places that are poisoning in our foods, and tell
Right.
them we ain't buying none of your stuff. Matter of fact, we just gonna start growing it. Oh, okay, but listen, we'll put less sodium in our stuff. It'll be no more sugar in that, because they need that money. Even
Man,
1% is a drop. That'll kill somebody if you're making billions as a company, and then something drop 5%. Oh God, you know.
yeah, this has
Uh,
always been my issue with people who say, and no disrespect for anybody who believes in this, who
yeah.
subscribes to not voting, but people who say, "Man, my vote don't count."
Hmm.
Two things bother me about that. There's
Explain.
no
Yeah, talk to
way,
me.
there's no way that people would go through the trouble of laws and back in the day hangings and burnings and all this to prevent you from voting if it had no value. That's number one for
Mm-hmm.
me.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, number two for me is the idea that, oh man, what I say about the voting. The second thing that bothers me about the idea of not voting and your vote doesn't count or matter. We have examples
Mm-hmm.
where it absolutely did count and it did matter and it did bring change, even if it was a little bit. Because that
Mm-hmm.
I have a dream speech, a few weeks later, Dr. King was like, "Man, I can't believe I said that." It was like, I can't believe I fell for that. And
Yeah.
like me trying to tell my kids, like, I want you to understand the real power. Like the
Mm-hmm.
marching is great,
Yeah.
the holding hands and the humming, it was great. Nothing changed until they affected the economy,
Thank you,
right?
brother.
I'm one of them. No disrespect, Miss King. We love you around here, okay? But
We,
like
we love
literally,
your king.
nothing changed until the economy was affected. You understand that this Rosa Parks thing and many other people like Rosa Parks who doesn't get publicized.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing was saying, hey, until these stupid laws change, we're not going to take the bus or the cab
Mm-hmm.
services. And it caused such an economic downfall in the little city that they were
Mm-hmm.
able to parlay that into the
Mm-hmm.
civil rights movement,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
into actual laws.
Yes.
Actual laws.
That's a
See what
fact.
I'm
And their
saying?
social
So what
media, they would,
happens if we say,
yeah.
hey, we want our teachers to make more money, period.
Mm-hmm.
I need my kids to have better teachers and better resources. And they
Mm-hmm.
go, well, we want to, but this lobbyist over here paid me not to even look at the studies that could possibly, potentially allow us to sign a bill that'll get teachers
Facts.
paid more.
Facts.
Well, who are these lobbyists? Well, they're the Koch brothers, a big tobacco, big pharma.
Mm.
Okay. We, the people, are not going to buy any Coke products for 24 hours until our demands are
Mm.
met. We'll do it 48 hours if it's still not met. I guarantee you, because I've seen it happen, that
Mm.
that will cause them to say, you know what? Let's get teachers more money.
It's
You
gangsters,
understand?
bro. It works.
We have that
Can we go
power.
back to your reference that you said with the back to the reference to the Montgomery bus boycotts? I was
Yes.
going to talk about social media. Their social media back then, and they didn't have it. They met in churches. They met
Come
at
on,
their
man.
their restaurants and stuff like that they owned and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Maybe somewhere in the backyard or somewhere in the woods somewhere. You know what I mean? And they got together, and it was well over a year. I think it was well over a year that that lasted. And
Mhm.
the thing was is that all of a sudden the powers that be, they weren't concerned about racism for that moment. They were concerned about that green dollar. That meant
We're losing
more
my
than
signal.
racism.
Right.
That money was more important than hating a brother because of his skin.
Come
It's
on.
like, because black people then were riding the buses, and that was the source of their income. And
Which was
so
taxed by the
then,
city, which
right,
paid police officers,
yes,
right? The police
they
officers who were
realized how
abusing black
important black
people.
money
Uh-huh.
was.
Yeah.
So at that point, it was like, I mean, that was great. Like when are we going to do? You know what I'm saying? Where people, where are our Montgomery bus boycott with some of these the outrageous laws or policies that we may not like? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
how about we use social media for stuff like that? Like, I mean, I enjoy entertainment, that's cool, but like, when can we really utilize that and become on one accord just
Yeah.
to make a difference? Because all it really takes is 10% to make a shift, a huge shift. You know what I'm saying? In this country, you know what I mean? We got roughly 348 million, 330 million people here. You know what I'm saying? 10% of 330 million is what? You the academia here,
33
urban
million.
academia. 33 million. Imagine
Right.
33 million people saying like what you just said, and we ain't buying Coca-Cola. And
Right.
this is just and this is just black people. What if black people is 13%, 14% of the population just said, we ain't buying Popeye's chicken no more.
Yeah.
What you gonna do? You know, and until y'all, you know, maybe lower the price on or maybe until you make the biscuits a little more moist because I'm choking or something. I don't know, but it just works. It works, man. You know, so dang, we kind of balanced the beam a little bit because I hated social media because of how it made people, but the solution or one of the resolutions is like, okay, well, first I feel like with our children, we need to start at the home and those four walls, and like you said, realize that it is here, but we're going to use this as a tool to benefit us and other people. You know what I'm saying? And know the difference. You know, now it is hard. I will say this. You may have to pray about that for discernment. It is hard to tell what's real and what's fake when it comes to digitized things and CGI and
It's not that
in
hard.
this. Okay. Well, I mean,
But
to the normal person,
no,
right?
but here's what I want to say to the normal
Explain to
person.
me. Okay,
There's
tell them.
this guy,
Tell them.
Mr. Beast, right? Well, the
Mhm.
biggest YouTuber out there,
Oh
Mr.
yeah,
Beast,
yeah, yeah.
right? And he had a deep fake because he's known for giving away stuff. And there's this
Hmm.
message floating around Facebook and any other place.
Hmm.
He's like, I'm giving away 5,000 new iPhones. This sounds like something he would actually do. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm giving away 5,000 new iPhones, like brand new
Hmm.
iPhones. All you have to do is click that link down here and put your information in, blah blah blah.
Hmm.
Right? And I was like, all right, let me click this link and see what else, because you
Yeah.
can do VPN. We know that we can use VPNs and stuff like that to
Yeah.
protect
Yeah.
ourselves. But I'm all about the experiment, bro. I'm
Hmm.
all about the experiment. So I clicked it, and I noticed that up there was like 4,000 left. Oh, 3,000 left. It's 2,000 left. Like this
Hmm.
counter. And what does that
Hmm.
do to the human brain? Oh, I better hurry up.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And I literally just like went to another tab, and is Mr. Beast actually giving away
I
5,000
was
free
getting ready to ask you
iPhones?
that. I was getting ready to
The
ask you
first
that.
thing that popped up was deep fake Mr. Beast, right? Giving away blah 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 and protect your information, yada yada. How long
Mhm.
did that take me to do? I didn't have to go through 4 years of college to understand this stuff or anything.
Right.
I just asked one question, and it saved me from
Yeah.
clicking on to something that was ridiculous.
Yep. They do that in those regular, like when you buy stuff online or whatever it do, it'll have
Only
30
four left.
seconds left. Yeah, 4 left. I'm like, dang. I said,
Yeah,
well, that's going kind of slow because I know there's a million other people on here looking at the same thing. What we just gonna do? We're gonna look at each other like you gonna click it first, but every time I click it, it still says there's more. I did one too where I went there, you know what I'm saying, and then it was like I actually bought it because I really wanted it, right? And then
yeah, yeah.
I was like, yeah. And then I went back, and then it was like, only 9 left. I'm like, wait, you told me there was 3, in here, and it's a great marketing scheme, but they lying to us, man.
Yeah.
They
So again,
lying, man.
what if we apply a simple rule from now on? Like we
Mhm.
always try to find one thing that we can take from a show.
Yeah.
And I feel like for me, if you can take anything from this episode, debate,
Mhm.
right? You hear something, don't react to it on social media until you saw, like, you at least ask the question, is this real? And then looked at two totally separate sources. This is something that they have to do for legitimate journalists, right? They
Mhm.
have this double blind experiment, which
Yeah.
is, hey, here's the story. Then I need two people from two different sources to tell me the same thing to verify it.
Mhm.
If it
Mhm.
cannot be verified, we're not
Mm-hmm.
going to run it because if we run it, it turns out to be wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
What up, Toast? Say, what the frap? That's right. That is right. Even though we're on the Urban Academia podcast. So the idea really is, can we all agree that, man, she said so and so. Hey, pick up that phone. Girl, someone's told me that you said that I blah blah blah. That's you? No,
Mm-hmm.
where do you get that from? Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Versus, and this is why I knew she was fake this whole time. About what? What? How do we get there? How do we
That
get
is
there?
true. That
Ask
is
the question
true.
first. That's what I want everybody
But
to do.
but let me ask you this though. And this is a funny though. This is a funny. All right, so
I can tell by the tone.
yeah, but I mean, rest in peace to Biggie. But you know, we always had this thing where, man, did you know, we'd be like, man, Diddy was a part of it, man. He did it right, and then you'd be like, you know what? You know, I'm just gonna call him when I ask him. Man, do we know if Diddy's lying or telling the truth?
Now, here's the next part of what I want people to start utilizing. Grace. It's so hard to do. I don't know if anybody is lying or telling the truth about anything. I don't know if my history book is corrected. I'm just gonna have to go with it until I find enough evidence to the contrary, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
because people are very slick, Royce. A lot of people like to tell parts of the truth. Like, listen, no disrespect what's going on in Israel, Palestine right now, right? I'm just talking about how people talk about it. Okay, I haven't learned enough yet, done my research enough to give a true opinion about what's going on over there. But here's what I do know: how people are talking about it seems to be a little bit something is missing. You know what I mean?
You're right. I feel
Like,
you.
hey, like shout out to Palestine. I need them. They've always been there, and Israel needs to like let them be free. It's like, well, are we gonna go by who was there first? Because who was there first was a bunch of different tribes and then God said, I'm gonna get you Israelites out of Egypt, and we're gonna go cleanse this land. Can we pause there for a moment? What does it mean to cleanse a land?
Probably kill
Scripture says man, woman, child, livestock, plants,
babies, all
my
that.
guy.
Gotta go.
All that gotta go. This is the land I promise y'all, and I'm gonna clear the way for you. Whew, that's rough. I mean, so RIP the Philistines and the Amorites and everybody who was inhabiting that land before Christianity, Judaism, or even Islam got to those regions. Like wiped out for Israel.
Yeah.
Now Israel went through its problems.
Yeah.
And Rome came through and they big boyed them, burned down the Temple of Solomon, right? Renamed the region Palestine. Renamed the region Palestine, which translates to Palestina, something. I don't really know the Greek, but it translates basically to land of the Philistines, which is just them clowning them.
Yeah.
Clowning them.
Yeah.
That's like me coming to your house, Royce, kicking you out of it, and rename the house used to be Royce's.
Right. Like, dang, that's messed up.
And then the back and forth, the back and forth, the back and forth, the back and forth. So how people are talking about these things, what I want people to start understanding is, like, first of all, let's set some boundaries and figure out, well, how far are you going to go back? Right? And then can we talk about what's currently happening, like the humanity of it all is what those Israelis were going through during that attack from Hamas is wrong.
Yeah.
The policies that the Israeli government, not the Jewish folk, the Israeli government are implementing.
I'm glad you said
wrong.
that like that. Yeah.
Is wrong. Half of the daggone people that make up Palestine and the Gaza Strip, half of them are children.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why because soon there ain't gonna be nothing left.
I want to go into that.
Okay, No. Okay, but let me answer this though. To the connecting back to the social media thing. You know what I'm saying? One source, when I used to ride with the journalists, stuff like that. They've always used this thing called, and this I'm just giving a reference for anybody listening. If you have any doubts about what Fox is saying or CNN is saying or what's that other one, The Sun and all those other things, it's called AP, the Associated Press. Okay. Back in the early 2000s when I was in college, I was telling my age. It's almost like a telegram or something like that. It's
Mhm.
not really communicated in a way to where it's paraphrased or it has trigger words and stuff like that. It's just a sheet. It just said information. It said something, something, something here, and something, 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 something. Da, 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 da. All these media sources that we look at on TV are getting it from one source. That one source, I'm not gonna say everything is true. That one source may be 95% what happened, but then they take that source, go to their own TV companies, and cut that junk in half and turn it
Oh,
into
man.
something else. Turn it
It
into
sound like
something else.
crack.
Look at CNN one day. If you do two TVs, or if you can watch it live on your phone, then on TV, look at CNN talking about what's going on a specific situation, and then look at Fox talk about the same situation. Look how they're titled. Look at the scrolls that come up under the thing. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Look at that. And all that is just to get your mind thinking, like, oh, such and such, da, 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 da. Fox does it well too.
Oh,
They
man.
do it in your face, make these words like I'm like, and then on CNN, you know what I mean? It's something a little different. And then you're just like, I'm sitting here like, oh, yeah, y'all catering to other folk. Y'all spreading all and y'all like giving leading statements and stuff that make you think, could this be the end of the world? Dang, man,
Brilliant.
it might be. It might
Yeah.
be, man. But no, but I'm just saying, like, they'll use trigger words and stuff to misguide you. But I always go to the AP first and just get the boring read. That's cool. I'll read
Yeah.
something boring, you know what I mean? And get all that information. I'll be like, okay, well, what is this source saying something about it? Well, they left this part out. They
Right.
left this part out. Why did they do that? You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna stick to this right here until this matches that. But
Mhm.
it's what do they do when they have them tacks with the string and stuff like that, and they're trying to figure
Yeah.
it's really one of them things. If you have the patience to do it, which I don't a lot of the times, but when I do, you can figure out 95% of what's really happening in this world that is true.
Mhm.
So,
But if you
AP.
want an easy way to digest some of these things where we can talk openly, like this is
Mhm,
a show where me, my partner who's absent today, Chulo Rich and I were talking about the Cal Rittenhouse case, and we had
mm,
a Proud Boy lighting us up in the comments, and we
mm,
immediately sent him a link and invited him on immediately live,
mhm,
and we ended that conversation thanking each other for the conversation.
mhm.
So if you want a place, you can look at places like Urban Academia or What the Frown podcast or Royce's Rant. Before you get out of here, man, give me a last word. Where can people find you? What are you cooking on? And go ahead and shout one of your favorite podcasts to be on Urban Academia, my friend.
Man, you already know. Well, first, a shout out to Urban Academia, you know what I'm saying, and What the Frap, you know what I mean, for waking me up from the dead. You kind of revived me a little bit, man. I got a little, see, make sure I still had it with as far as just keeping the flow going. I do appreciate that. I go by Royce Massengill. I have a podcast. It's been going on for 5 years now. Starting on season 6 in March. I just had to take the time off, get my mind straight, relearn, unlearn and relearn some things, take some accountability of some things, and just really just straightening out how I'm going to present to the world the new me and literally speak my thoughts or
Mhm.
lose my mind. So if you don't speak your thoughts, you're going to lose your mind. And that's what happened to me. So I'm going to be living in more of the truth in Royce's Rant. You can find me as you see there, the at Royce's Rant. You can find that on IG, and you can find that on YouTube, and you can find that right here on Facebook. And I'm looking forward to you guys, seeing how the new setup's going to be, and the new topic is going to be, and I'm just going to involve more people into it besides just sitting here, looking at me, because I know I can talk for a long time. But that's where you can find me on Facebook, Royce's Rant, YouTube, and everything. And also, if you're just bored and you want to go on the IG or whatever, me and my partner my producer, business partner, Josh Levitt. We have a podcast of our own called Clean Cut Conversations, spelled exactly the way it is. It's no different type of things. Clean Cut Conversations. I'll put it in the comments when we get out of here. And y'all just check it out. Check it out. We talk about a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, I appreciate it. Shout out to DeMario and Who That Podcast and everybody that's been listening. You know what I'm saying? Y'all support this young brother. And yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Man,
Open your
thank you.
eyes.
Abristos Ojos. Look, I'm out here in New Mexico. Another good thing about technology, right? I'm in New Mexico. You're in what, Tennessee,
There you
right?
go.
And we're
There you
still
go.
able to have this conversation. But
Look at
yeah,
that.
man, thank you so much. Go ahead back in the green room, chill out, get you some snacks and whatnot. But please, please, please do not log off. Thank you so much, Royce Massengill from Royce's Rant.
Love
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we talked about social media, and of course, you, the audience, gets to have the final say and figure out whether or not you believe it's killing us, or if it's helpful, or is it somewhere in the middle. That's kind of where we land usually on Urban Academia. We talked about social media being a detriment, especially in kids. But we talked about, I mean, this is the vicious cycle, right? Social media, bad. Kids involved in it, bad. Parents need to help with kids, but parents themselves don't have time because of work, because of their addiction to social media themselves, or whatever it is, because they need to work and make money and scroll themselves to be validated by money and or the currency of the day, which is attention. Okay. We also have that validation sending them back to social media, and then the cycle continues. One or two things I want you all to take from this is give each other some grace. Only take what people actually say at some form or some to some degree face value, and then give them the grace that they're telling the truth, and then have the conversation based on that and that alone. If they show themselves to be false or whatever, then handle it from there. But I want us all to look at information, take a deep breath, do your own research by a couple of Google searches and confirm some things. And if it's true, cool. If not, now you know. You don't have to have your peace ruined or wrecked. These are the things that we can do to help build society a little bit. All right. But thank you all so much. This is the first episode back for in months. We will have more each week. We'll definitely put some things out to make sure you know when the episodes are going to air, so you can be involved in the conversation. Thank you for everybody in the comments. Miss King and them, and the captain, Demario Liggins, who is a podcaster himself with Who That Podcast and a producer of Tea Talks, and that the DJ and they do, and Kinfo Corner. He's doing a lot. He's doing a lot. Let's support each other. Let's support the conversation. And just, remember, common sense ain't common. But I think we can all work together to make sure each of us can get a little bit. Peace.
For you.